What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, we have our A1 Mini attempting to print a typical benchy print, one of those 15-minute boats. And this video is going to help you try to find where that extruder clog is when you get that clicking noise on either your A1 Mini as this one or on your A1 itself. They're both applicable for this same fix. I wanted to run it really quick to show you because my issue is a little more unique as well that you might be running into, where not only will it actually extrude okay when warming up over its catcher here, but when it actually goes to print, that is when the clicking actually starts. A little different than just clicking right from Jump Street when it goes to do anything. We never experienced that in this issue, but even if you do get that initial clicking click sound, this will help you figure it out. One of three things are happening, and it all revolves around what's going on behind this case here, and that is the extruder being clogged with probably just a little piece of filament in a place it shouldn't be. So what I always recommend is turning your printer into maintenance mode, just because it does allow you to go ahead and heat up anything you need without the hot end installed. But before that, like I said, I wanted to actually have this running to show you exactly what the issue is that we were experiencing. Once it finishes the bed leveling, what you'll see is it will start extruding perfectly fine. You won't experience any clicking noises, and it happens only when it starts doing its test filament dump here and into its actual print itself. So it looks like we're almost up to temperature here. Let's wait till it heats up and I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. So you can see right off the bat, it's spinning perfectly fine, and we have a clear filament in right now. Probably not the best example, but hopefully you can see it extruding with no issues at all. It's dumping it just like it should. No noise to hear at all. You think everything's going to print perfectly fine and dandy. Once it does its dump, you will see and hear it click on the actual printing plate itself, which should be coming up here in a second. And here it goes. So you can see no filament is really being extruded. It is clicking and just going back and forth and giving us a mess here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this print. And you can see on the printing bed itself, it looks horrible, didn't do anything. That's the filament that came out and extruded. Very, very poorly printed. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on here. We're going to go into settings, maintenance, and then at the very bottom here is maintenance mode, and we're just going to toggle that on. Again, this is optional. You really don't need to, but it does explain here that it says this will enable heating even when the hot end is not installed. First thing you're going to want to do, take that cover off and be very careful, especially right after you try to print something, because that hot end is going to be extremely warm. So try not to touch that at all or it won't feel good. You'll have a bad day. What I'm going to do, just so I don't touch it here, is pop open these two clips that house the hot end. And the black piece here, if you're using a third-party one, or the silver one on the official one, is going to be where you're going to remove it. So you can simply press this tab in here. That cuts the filament that's in here. And then just pull it out, and you'll see a little bit of filament that is in here. You can easily remove it, and you can kind of see exactly how it melts and it's supposed to go in. So before we do this, I do want to show you one additional piece here that could be part of your problem. If you have one of those tools, and I'll throw a link up down below to all of these extruder tools, you can feed this either through the nozzle up or down through here, and you're going to want to just spin this and push down to make sure there is no other filament that is jammed down below. And you can see now it went all the way through. And we're just going to kind of run this up and down a little bit to ensure there is no extra filament logged in here. We're going to go ahead and set that piece down. And then also now, with careful pressure, you're going to want to remove the top piece here on the AMS itself by pushing down and using some sort of tool to actually put your tool in between here. And then you're going to want to use a little force and lift up. So when you do that, the AMS piece will come off but it should come somewhat out with a little pressure. And again, you can see that filament that goes through that AMS tube into the hot end. So let's go ahead and pull this back through the spool and just retract it all the way through. And now what you're going to want to do on the top here is simply push down with one hand and pull out the tube with the other. You can kind of set that to the side. And then you want to make sure there's no filament from where there's any residue in that AMS tube location. So we had it in this one, and you can see with the right angle, you get the light right through it. But if you needed and did not see any light there, you'll want to take an extra piece of filament that you might have, such as this one, and just push through to make sure nothing is clogged there. Once you do that and verify that that's not the issue, you can set that piece down and we can move on to up here. As you can see from here, the next thing you're going to want to do is also check right where this spring is. It does come out if you need a clearer look. And again, verify that there is nothing in the way of the tube to the tool head. And again, you can take your extra piece of filament and simply push down, and you want to give it a little force and make sure it goes through the extruder as you can see it spinning, or possibly see it spinning down below, to make sure there is nothing there. Nothing's clogged, it fed easily in and out. And again, if this doesn't solve your problem, there is one additional step here, and that is to unscrew these two screws on the side. Now, I will call out while I do this, you want to be very careful when you remove these, simply because there is a ribbon on the back of this that is a sensor as well. And if you cut that ribbon, you're going to have all sorts of problems. So just a word of warning there. Once you take those screws out, you should be able to easily pick this up, like I said, and make sure down below here, there is also no filament caught. You'll be able to, again, take a piece of that extra filament you have and just kind of pop it through to make sure nothing is in the way. Just feed it in and out. And again, watch for this cable. I can't stress that enough. What you're going to want to do is just feed this back in. And when you do that, you should be good to go. I went ahead and put the screws back in and pushed the ribbon back. And again, to reassemble it, the spring goes in first. Then you want to make sure this lines up, and you can have the AMS facing you and the piece with the little edge here to the right that is going to lock in. So just like that, and you can push back down. You'll hear a little pop and you're good to go. Give it a little tug, it should not move. Then you're going to want to go ahead and take this, pop it right back into place, and again, it'll grab like it traditionally always does. And then you can go ahead and reinstall your hot end. Make sure this is facing the back. We'll go ahead and pop this right in and make sure it clips in just like that. If you do use those rubber protectors, you can pop that right back on as well. And then lastly, just that cover if you use it. You can go ahead and take your A1 or A1 Mini out of maintenance mode. And then I am going to go ahead and rerun the test, but that's all you need to do, and you will be good to go with any of your prior jammed filament having been removed. Let us know if you need any other help or any other helpful videos you want to see down below in the comments. Hopefully this helps you out. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.